Hit that like button, subscribe. Focus Daily TV, support the channel. Hashtag Focus Daily TV, Patreon. Today we're going to get a little bit more into this Knights of the Golden Circle. Yesterday we watched a video about the Anglo-Saxon society and the fraternal groups and orders that play a major role in the disenfranchisement of the Afro-American community through things like fraternal orders, secret societies, and ultimately through a military construct that has a secret hand, a hidden hand in the disenfranchisement of our people. Yeah, we're gonna watch a little something about the Knights of the Golden Circle. Everybody put their discernment hats on. Let me put my headphones on. Let's go.
The long line of spies and saboteurs that helped determine the outcome of the Civil War starts with the founding of a secret society, even before Abraham Lincoln becomes president of a war. Starts with the founding of a secret.
If you notice, they have that symbolism, that same world of sin symbolism. The suns, the moons, they are a secret order that was developed in order to place God's children into the matrix, into the world of Oz. Let's get a little bit more into it.
Society, even before Abraham Lincoln becomes president. A conspiratorial organization.
Now notice the timeline. This is all occurring in the mid to late 1800s. Like I say, all this occurred just a few grandparents ago, a few grandmamas ago. And this is the information that shall make us free. What exactly occurred? How did we find ourselves entrenched in that world of sin? How did we find ourselves completely underwater under laws of admiralty, the laws of the sea, rather than the laws of God?
Organization that hides its secrets so well that it has almost disappeared from history.
The largest secretive conspiratorial group during the Civil War was the Knights of the Golden Circle.
This was kind of like the introductory group that brought about the other fraternal orders. But ultimately, they're all chapters or groups within the Anglo-Saxon society that I spoke of yesterday.
The Knights of the Golden Circle had a large, broad-based membership from both the North and the South, and they had sympathies that sought to expand slavery.
The same month.
Now, this is a critical statement. Were the Afro-Americans actually enslaved? More information on that later.
Republican convention nominates Abraham Lincoln as their presidential candidate. The Knights of the Golden Circle hold their own convention in Raleigh, North Carolina, with a dark and treasonous agenda.
The South, feeling besieged, now thought, we're going to die. If we just maintain the states we have, we will die. We're outvoted by the North. North's expanding, growing rapidly. We are not. So what do? We expand into the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, Central America, and we make one new great slave empire, the Golden Circle.
So that slave empire he speaks of is the Matrix, is the land of Oz, is the world of sin that the Afro-American people, including myself, currently find ourselves trapped in. But thankfully, I was allowed an opportunity to redeem myself. So I'm coming in and I'm trying to give others that same opportunity for redemption and salvation. Because remember, we're all sinners, and no sin is greater than the other. And it is only through the Father, His Son, King Christ, and the Holy Ghost that we can be set free. And now we're living in that time where it's pertinent that we return back home, return to God.
Their initial goal was to establish an empire, and they were hoping it would equal the grandeur of ancient Rome.
Founded in 1854 by a physician named George Bickley, the Knights of the Golden Circle is similar to another society steeped in mystery, the Masons.
Many of the organizing figures of
See, in popular culture, they use words like Freemason, Mason, Illuminati. What we're doing right here on the Focus Daily TV channel, hit that like button and subscribe, is we're putting names on them. We're pointing out certain individuals who played a key role in the disenfranchisement of God's people.
the Knights of the Golden Circle were also Masons. And of course, Masons were the greatest secret society of America up till that time. There was all sorts of religious symbolism and secret passwords and codes and handshakes, and this was all incorporated into the Knights of the Golden Circle
Just listen, that's all you have to do, and continue to pay attention.
as well.
The Knights had specific signs. For example, some people believe the governor of Kentucky was a Knight because the way he touched his collar in his photographs. They had secret passwords for their meetings. They had guards at the meetings, and you had to give a password to get through.
However, the Knights are not a harmless club. Supporters include future Confederate President Jefferson Davis, high-ranking Southern politicians, many Union officers, and a famous actor named John Wilkes Booth.
Now, it's important to point out how the military was intrinsically involved in this takeover, in this disenfranchisement of the people, removing them from their land, their birthright, and causing them to turn against the Father. That's why it's important that we open up our Bibles and we read and we learn and we refamiliarize ourselves with the laws of the Lord. Let's go.
President Lincoln learns of their devious plans just after he becomes president.
This is a document
We'll get more into Lincoln's significance at a later time.
dated April 18th of 1861, just as Lincoln has taken office and just as the Civil War has broken out with the firing on Fort Sumter, notifying Lincoln that the Knights of the Golden Circle were forming in Philadelphia. So this document makes clear that Lincoln was aware of the involvement of the Knights at the beginning of the Civil War.
The Knights focus their recruiting efforts not in the South, but in the North, where they meet in secret locations in the middle of the night to plot the overthrow of the federal government. One stronghold is rural Pennsylvania.
At this point,
$69 US Special Forces.
what did I do? At this point, the federal government is represented by an allegory of the laws of God. Their plan was to turn the people against God so that the people would be unprotected when they were attempting to disenfranchise us, when they actually did disenfranchise us. Now, God could have stopped it at any moment. But once again, if you're familiar with your word, he allowed us to go through this in order so that we could see the importance of following his laws and so that prophecy can be fulfilled.
Of course, Masons were the greatest secret society of America up till that time. There was all sorts of religious symbolism and secret passwords and codes and handshakes, and this was all incorporated into the Knights of the Golden Circle as well.
The Knights had specific signs. For example, some people believe the governor of Kentucky was a Knight because the way he touched his collar in his photographs. They had secret passwords for their meetings. They had guards at the meetings, and you had to give a password to get through.
However, the Knights are not a harmless club. Supporters include future Confederate President Jefferson Davis, high-ranking Southern politicians, many Union officers, and a famous actor named John Wilkes Booth. President Lincoln learns of their devious plans just after he becomes president.
This is a document dated April 18th of 1861, just as Lincoln has taken office and just as the Civil War has broken out with the firing on Fort Sumter, notifying Lincoln that the Knights of the Golden Circle were forming in Philadelphia. So this document makes clear that Lincoln was aware of the involvement of the Knights at the beginning of the Civil War.
The Knights focus their recruiting efforts not in the South, but in the North, where they meet in secret locations in the middle of the night to plot the overthrow of the federal government. One stronghold is rural Pennsylvania.
We're at a barn in Heidelberg Township near Wilmersdorf, Pennsylvania, and this is one of the barns where, according to local residents, the Knights of the Golden Circle met.
A few residents
Okay. In order to keep this short, for attention spans can keep up with the information that I'm presenting, we'll have to continue later and get the second conclusion to this story. But until next time, Focus Daily TV, y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe, hashtag Focus Daily TV. We out.